What's going on, people? Welcome to the Awareness Channel. My name is TC. Uh, Fake actions that lead to real motherfucking consequences. Fake actions now that lead to real consequences in people's lives. I want to talk a little bit about that because that's basically how the United States, our country, basically been doing business for as long as I can remember, using fake actions with real, sometimes unintended consequences. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples of that. The war on drugs, the war on drugs was all fake and created. And the consequences was mass incarceration. You flood the community with drugs, you lock up the people who sell the drugs, and you lock up the addicts. And you fill your prison and you feed your prison industrial complex. That's that. You see how that works? And then another example of that shit is the war on terror. That started back in 2011. No, I'm sorry, 2001, 9/11. Damn. I remember that shit like it was yesterday. But from that point till forever, we've been at war on something called terror. And all they got to do is label you or your organization by that name. And you can be targeted, and you going to be targeted, and they're going to come for you. And they can do that to anybody they want. And the president that we have now is getting even more power. And it's all based on the war on terror. Now they're intertwining, like that word, intertwining the war on terror and the war on drugs. They're going to always create a reason to be at war. And it's always going to be based on a goddamn lie. Look back at your history now. Your real history, not the one they told you about. Your real history of how the United States conduct business when somebody has something it wants, feels it can't do without, and don't want to pay for it. You dig me? All right. And now we're moving to the 21st century. And the war is the lies are still being put out there, and the fake shit is still being put out there, and the consequences are still felt in the real world. Like right now, y'all know there's a whole industry of, a whole industry built around shitting on black people. And dude that met that unfortunate end was good at that, and he had made millions of dollars off of it, and he was going to be the next president of the United States if his followers had anything to say about it. And all of this was going on, and it was all fake because all of the shit that he was saying about black people was lies. But the way he was packaging that shit and delivering it. But now, something happened, unfortunate as it is, happened. And now people have forgot about all that, and they're trying to make him into a deity. Y'all seen that stadium at his memorial and how filled that thing was. They ready to put that motherfucker on Mount Rushmore, and he ain't even do anything. And that's all fake. But people are buying it. And it's having real consequences in their life. People don't think for themselves. They turn control of their life over to someone else. People let control of their life be taken over by somebody else. All the time. I had a conversation with a young brother today. And I had to, I had to let him know that my personal spirituality is kind of different from most people. Not just black people, but most people, you know. And after I told him how old I was and how long I had been around, and I got to talking to him a little bit, he kind of stood down and started listening to me. But he is a Hebrew Israelite, and I said okay. And then I started talking about my belief system, you know, and I believe in universal law and universal truth. That's why I believe that the country that I live in can't keep going like this without destroying itself. Back to what I was talking about, though. The influencers, they go on and on and on about us for hours. They can sit there and it's like porn to them. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Negro hate porn. And they just go on and on about how we ain't with our kids and we don't want to work and we just loud and we rude and we're obnoxious and we low IQ and we all of this motherfucking shit they be saying about black folk and just getting paid off of it. And people suck it up like it's the air they breathe. It's a sad situation the way people's mind can be taken over. It's sad the way people don't think for themselves and use rational thinking and let people just drive them off a motherfucking cliff like that. But I did say this kind of shit was going to happen if Donald Trump got it back in the White House. The miracle president got his job back. I'm going to just say it like that. I did say that this is kind of society we were going to have if the miracle president got his job back. You see, I remember when, what was it called? The Project for a New American Century, right after 9/11. They wrote that shit before 9/11 happened, and they needed something to jump that off so that they can implement all of this shit from the Project for a New American Century back in the early 2000s. That was the big thing then. And now this Project 2025 is coming in. They running this step by step, and then they got something to back this up. Trust and believe. And they don't want us involved in it. And that's okay as long as they leave us the fuck alone while we build our nation. Built on truth. Built on realism. You know what I mean? All that damn lying and stealing. Don't nobody need to do that. That's an American thing. Americans stealing right now, or getting ready to down in Venezuela. Blowing up fishing boats and shit. But I digress. Don't fall for that fake ass shit. When they tell you something going on, flip it right on his head and you're going to get further to the truth. And you can understand that a game is being played with the lives of the people around you and you know how to avoid getting sucked into it. Use your critical thinking skills when you're listening to these podcasters and know that they get paid to talk this shit. A lot of money, some of them. And use your critical thinking skills and listen to everybody, but don't follow nobody. And do what's best for you and your conscience. Anyway, enough for now, y'all. Thanks for coming by and listening to me talk my shit. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hit the subscribe button on the way out. TC, and I'm out. Peace.